All right, there we go. You are live now. And let me give you back host.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
But we're only live on the hour when the class starts, I assume.
Yeah, so you go live on Get Set Up TV right at 8, and then you'll be on YouTube right now, and then Facebook as well. Or let me double check Facebook. It's not all our classes get pushed to Facebook.
Okay, I'm going to unpause record because it started recording automatically. You know, I logged in about 20 minutes early and I didn't notice that it was recording, and I went away and I came back and I found it recording by itself, which usually I have to press record.
Oh, okay. Yeah, something in Zoom admin must have changed with your settings where the auto record is on.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad about that if it is. But the only problem is I must remember to pause it when I log in half an hour early, you know.
Yeah, I know it'll start as soon as you jump on. So yeah, it's a good setting to have, but also it does it right when you join. All right, you're all good to go. Phil should be here soon. And yeah, have a great class today, Michael.
Thanks, Megan.
Of
Cheers.
course.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. I don't recognize you have been in a class previously in one of my classes.
No, not yet, but this one has my name written all over it.
Tell me more about.
I'm trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up.
Okay.
I've been semi-retired occupational therapist for the last like 3 or 4 years, but I ended up getting COVID from a patient, and so it scared me now. I've recently moved from Louisiana to Florida, and I'm afraid to go back to work in hospitals. So I want to figure out, I don't know if I can do it online.
Right.
Or what I can do if I have to change my career.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to work 2 or 3 days a week. So.
Okay. Well, you know, I'm sure that the content of this class will get you on the path. This is you're attending the first one. We've done a trial first one before, but now we're doing 5 in a row. Okay. So there are 5 classes, and only the first 2 today and tomorrow are up, and hopefully by tonight the next 2 will be up. And yeah, it's I find a very exciting topic to talk about. Okay, and so yes, we've got a few more people so that are booked, and they may or may not arrive, but that's absolutely fine. I'm very, very happy to have you on board, and we can chat and even make it personal if there's nobody else. Okay. So yeah, so you've been in an unfortunate situation with COVID. Huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even they had us wearing masks and shields.
Yeah.
But still, the kind of work I do with people is like so close. And like if I have them standing up at the sink brushing their teeth or in the shower, they don't have a mask on. So I'm getting exposed. So
yeah. So when did you semi-retire then?
In September of 17, so about 4 years, I went from working full time to just 2 or 3 days a week.
Right.
So 17, I mean, 18, 19, 20, really just 3 years I've been working 2 or 3 days a week.
So those 2 or 3 days a week now, you're still doing what you were doing?
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not working 2 or 3 days a week. Since I got COVID from a patient in January, I haven't been working. I'm collecting Social Security, but I don't want to start taking money out of my retirement. I want to just live on Social Security and then supplement the retirement with 2 or 3 days of work.
Right.
So.
Okay. I see we have Shirley with us. Hello, Shirley.
Oh, hello, Michael.
Nice to see you back. We know each other from previous classes, don't we?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And you're from down under.
Yeah, that's right, down under. Lil doesn't know that yet.
I suspected.
From the accent, did you?
I was just on with Sue that was from Perth.
Yes, Sue's a lot of fun. I took one of her classes once.
Okay, did you? Okay. You remember which one it was?
Yeah, about grandchildren, teaching your grandchildren experiments. I mean, that are bored, different experiments.
Okay. Do you have grandchildren?
I have 4.
Okay.
They keep me busy.
Oh, so they are around, are they? They're around. Okay, you're fortunate. Yeah, that's nice. And Shirley, do you have grandchildren?
I have 4, 2 that are around and 2 that aren't around. So.
Okay. So you've also been on my wife's classes for
Is Sue
grandchildren.
your wife?
Sue, yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Nice.
Yeah. She's in the next room, and yeah, I've chosen the lounge to be my room so I can watch my garden. Okay. All right. I think what we get started. I don't know if anybody else is going to arrive. I want to just share my screen with you, and let's see. Okay, can you see my screen? Okay, that's great. Now, as I mentioned to Lil a few moments ago, just before you came on, Shirley, was that I've been experimenting with this class for a few weeks, and now we've tweaked it just a little bit, and now we've added another 4 classes after this. So we're now ready to move forward with what I believe is, and I strongly believe, being a pensioner myself, that we need to really look at where we're going from here as pensioners, and particularly in 2021. And I think Lil has really got that question very clear in her mind as well. Anyway, Lil, for your sake, my name is Michael Plumstead, and I live, as we've discussed, in Perth, Western Australia. And my background is I've researched most of my life. I've written most of my life. I've been a business most of my life, and a business trainer and mentor and author. And so I've enjoyed new things, new challenges, and that's why I'm enjoying Get Set Up now. It's a totally new challenge and a new research. And what we're starting today, right now, is also a whole new research and new communication, which I really enjoy. And I hope you get some benefit out of it as well. I also enjoy gardening. I enjoy growing microgreens. I do a class on microgreens. And yeah, you can look it up if you like. It's there. Okay, so let's. I asked a little, but I didn't ask you, Shirley. What do you want? What do you want to take away from this class? Anything specific?
Well, if you have any suggestions for working from home, I've been retired for about 6 years now, and I've been a mystery shopper, where I go around to stores and establishments and test their knowledge of their customer service and that, and then I come home and make a report and get paid for it.
Okay.
And but that went south with the pandemic.
Right. Yeah, I know. That's an interesting. I remember once in my life being a mystery shopper as well. I suppose because I was a trainer and a mentor, I was sort of a logical person to ask from an outside company. So yeah, it was quite fun. All right. So both of you are looking for what this class is about. Okay. And the way we are going to do this is we're going to try and understand that there is something definitely waiting for us, but it's sitting in our subconscious mind. Okay? And we now have got to occupy the conscious mind in order to say hello to the subconscious mind. Okay. And to start the class off, I really believe in what you see on your screen now. The purpose of life is a life with purpose. And because I believe in that so strongly, the result has been the 5 classes that are coming up now. And it's largely based on experience and lots of research as well. So I always start here. I've created 7 steps in this process, and I want you to. I will send you these slides afterwards with the email. So I don't want you necessarily to write down everything that you see on the slides, because you will get them. But what I do want you to write down is any answer that you might have to one of the steps or one of the questions in the steps. Write that down, because that's unique to you. That's personal to you. And so you're going to go through this process for a couple more days, I guess, and you'll understand why, because it's not that easy, particularly, when you've been sort of caught in this predicament of the COVID virus and so forth, that you're very into your mind and you're locked down. So we need to just move through a process. So I'm going to start with step 1. Now, step 1, whether you knew it or not, I know, Lil, you were in the nursing world, and Shirley, what was your history before you retired years ago?
Oh, I was accounting at the university and a bank.
Okay, an accountant.
For the last 20 years.
Okay, so that's very interesting, because the slide after this one, I think you're going to find it an interesting question. But let's preempt the next slide with this one. And that is, there are only 3 categories of business in the world. Very broad categories. Okay. The first one is you manufacture something, a product, and then you sell it, like a factory does, or a craftsman, or an artist. Okay. The next category is you buy a product from someone else and sell it, like a wholesaler, a retailer, an affiliate marketer, an agent. Okay. And then the third is you learn a skill and you sell a service, like an accountant, or a doctor, or a lawyer, or a nurse, or a tradesman, or a designer, or a programmer. there are a lot of those sort of skills that you learn and you sell. So broadly speaking, everything falls into those three categories. Okay. Now, I want to take those three categories and I want to make them personal to both of you, okay, and to myself, okay, because you are a unique individual and you must understand that you are. Okay, broadly speaking, what were you born to do? Now, you might have been doing it already as an accountant or as a nurse, okay, but there might be something else that we need to find out. So step one is we're asking ourselves one question. As you can see from what I'm showing you on the slide now, this has now taken the broad world planetary three categories of work into one human individual. Which one is you? Okay, so you ask yourself a typical question. I enjoy working with my hands, or I enjoy interacting with people, or I enjoy working by myself using my head and the skills I have learned. Now, both Lil and Shirley, anything that sort of jumps out at you, because we cover all three, we have to use all three in our life, but there's one that is a primary skill, if you like. And does anything jump?
I definitely enjoy interacting with people.
Okay, that's super. Okay, and Lil?
Me too, but now I think Shirley and I both want to do it online.
Okay. No, okay, that's fine. You can. Yeah,
I think I heard her say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Shirley, I thought with having been an accountant, you were going to say, I enjoy sitting in front of my computer and learning and doing accountancy. Okay. But clearly not. So all three of us enjoy interacting with people as our primary, what can we call it? We call it a
niche.
A niche. Well done. Yes. Thank you. I like the help. Yeah, your niche. So as part of step one, I now just, you both know. So now write your answer down, okay? Step one, I enjoy working and interacting with people. So whatever your purpose is in life, whatever your idea you're going to come up with through this process, it has to, if you're authentic with yourself, and I'm convinced that you are, then it has to adhere to this niche. Okay. So remember, you can work online with people like I'm doing right now. Okay. Because I'm also in that niche, and that's why I've chosen training with Get Set Up. Okay, because it absolutely fits that niche. So step two, why? Now, this is the most famous word in the English language. Why? Okay. Why do I want to work with any idea? What is the reason? So we haven't come up with an idea. It's not about the idea. Why do you want to work? Okay. Why are you looking for an idea to work with? Okay. What is your intention? What do I want to do? Why do I want to do it? Okay. And you mustn't move forward until you've answered this step for yourself. Okay. Very important. You don't not answer any of the steps that are coming up. So you must have a why. And the why is not allowed to be, I'm sounding like a school teacher, is not allowed to be about money. Okay. Because your purpose is never about money. Okay. Because you're actually repurposing yourself now. You've had your purpose in life as a career. You've brought up children and now grandchildren, and you've gone through an accounting career or a nursing career, and you no doubt thoroughly enjoyed that. your heart was in it, you had a purpose there, and you earned money, and you paid for all the things that were needed in our type of society. Now you're repurposing yourself. Now I want to know why you want to actually repurpose yourself. Okay, why do you want to take a new idea and move forward with it? Okay, you don't have to answer it now, because you may not have an answer yet. It's something you may have to put the kettle on, make a cup of coffee, and think about it. And ask yourself, why am I looking for another idea? Okay, remember, not about money. Okay, the money comes afterwards. That's if you so desire. But you're looking here, and I'm not going to give you any examples here, not yet, because this is the why that is unique to you. Why do you want to do it? Okay.
Well, I think I could answer that, because I found Get Set Up on Facebook.
Okay.
About maybe 2 months ago. Right. And I finally found it, and I started looking at it, and I thought, this sounds good, And then when I saw it was all the courses were, free, I thought, wow. So then I asked one of the guides one day in class, I said, you got to be paid somehow, don't you? And he said, well, the guides did get paid and that. And then I took, is it Norm's? Not Norm's class. The class for navigating the website. And
okay.
I thought, and then I got into it. I've always wanted to be a teacher. When I was, before I went to school, I played with my dollies, and I was their teacher. And that's the way I learned my multiplication tables. I learned spelling. I learned, and I'd write it on my blackboard and write it out, write the word 10 times. And then I knew how to spell it. Okay. So now I've come to Get Set Up, and I've offered to be an ambassador. And an ambassador is different from a guide in that we are just in interest classes.
Right. And
now I have 2 classes. I started out with the one, Love Me, Love My Pet. And now I've branched off into the one, So You Want to Write Your Own Story. So
Shirley, that's great. You've obviously taken a few steps already. Well done. I really, you can see a little applauding you. So that's really, it's great. So you're half the way there. You're going to enjoy this process, I'm telling you now.
I have. I can't get enough of it. It's addicting, let me tell you. So I take at least 3 or 4 classes a day.
Yeah, that's great. Well, the ones that you are doing now, the group, you must please put in the chat page so everybody can see them, and they can then go and meet you again in your own interest. So please
Wednesday, I don't know what time your times are, but Wednesday at 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time is my Love Me, Love My Pets.
Okay.
And then May the 7th at 1 p.m. I'm in Mountain Standard Time. So Mountain Standard Time is my So You Want to Write Your Own Story.
You're right. That's fantastic. Maybe Phil will pick them up. And Phil, sorry, you came in. I've made you co-host. But let me introduce everybody to Phil. He's TA support. That's another function in Get Set Up. And he's here to help people with whatever they need help with. It might be technical, and it might be a question of some description. And he might even look at, some of the classes that you're giving, and if he has the time, and put them up, Shirley. So that would be great. I think I see we've got two other people here. We've got Melinda. Hello, Melinda. Are you there? Okay. Okay. No. Okay. Teresa, welcome. I see you also joined the class.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Okay, great having you. Teresa, before you turn your mic off, just give me, I've asked the others earlier on in the class, what is your purpose for joining in a purpose class or an ideas class?
I was listening to the other woman and you, but it seems like you were talking more about like a repurpose. And I have been retired. I took an early retirement like 14 years ago, but now I want to go back into nursing. I wanted to do it for the 14 years, but I was busy helping take care of my parents and my grandkids. And my father, unfortunately, my father passed from COVID last year. So now I have the time where I can go back to work.
Right.
My purpose is to want to help people.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Teresa, the reason I use the word repurpose is, generally when we reach retirement age, we've worked a purpose through our lives, and now we come to rethink it. What do we want to do for the next 30 years of our life? Okay. And I say 30 years because, I'm 72 and it takes me to 100. So 30 years is a good new career. And so that's why I think of repurpose. I loved children. I brought up children. And if I look back on the last 50 years, the best thing in my life was having 9 children and bringing them up to the father. Okay.
Well, when I retired, I was doing other work, like part-time, but now I want to go back into nursing.
Okay. All right. Thanks for sharing.
I did find another career, but now I want to go back into nursing. It's like, I miss it.
Okay. Well, that says a lot. That's telling you a lot.
Even if it's for 2 years, I just want to go back and do it.
Right. Okay. So picking up again on step 2, why are you looking for that question? Or in your case, perhaps, why do you want to go back to what you were doing? Okay. Now, you don't have to answer me, but that's part of the step 2. Okay. So you've got step 1. Now you've got step 2. And you need to really come up with an authentic feeling. It needs to be a feeling. When you talk about why do I want to even go back to work? Why do I want a new purpose? Or why do I want an idea to do something with? Okay, it's all the same. You need to answer that why. So step 2 is really about thinking about your intention. Okay, because without an intention as your key foundation stone, okay, you are going to fall by the wayside quite quickly with the first bit of uphill that you confront, or the first problem you are confronted with. So the actual intention, the actual why, is the starting point of every dream. And we need to dream now as seniors of society. We really need to go out there and have a dream, but we can only dream if it's a feeling. Okay, the why. Okay, the why gives you the feeling. So that why is a creative energy that lays the foundation for purposeful growth and success. Okay. Success must come, and if you are working with a why, that success is going to be just so much easier. Okay, so the authentic intent, and I say authentic because we can make up intents or Google and find other people's intent and say, oh, that sounds like a good one. But that's your logical mind. This is not a logical decision. You're not looking at this logically. You must not look at it logically. Okay. Intent induces motivation. Okay. And all the creative, sustaining energies that you're going to need to jump out of bed in the morning and say, yeah, I can't wait to get started again. You need to have a why to work for, that intent. Once you've got an intent, then that makes you feel good about yourself as well, regardless of what others say. And let me just tell you at this point, I believe it's very, very important not to share this with anybody else, not with your grandchildren, not with your children, not with your spouse, okay? This process that you're going through. There will be a time, but this process, you need to really be relying on yourself and hoping that your subconscious comes through for you, and you get that that Oprah aha moment. Okay. And it really does work if you relax in a few times every day, and you're sipping a cup of tea and you're contemplating. That moment will come. It might come when you least expect it. In fact, it's pretty sure will come when you least expect it. It might be when you wake up in the morning. It might be halfway through the night. It might be at the supermarket when you pay in the cashier. You suddenly get this light bulb moment. Okay, so that's why it's important to keep your notes with you at all times. Maybe some of the notes you're taking now, but otherwise a notebook that goes with you next to your bed at night when you sleep and when you go to the supermarket. So step 2 is write your honest answer down. Okay, the why. The why. I'm going to be talking about the why for the next 5 classes. Okay, so this is, you've really got to give a lot of thought to it and find that heartfelt feeling of why. So this is now, having got to the step, you're now slowly moving towards new ideas. Okay, meaning and purpose, because after all, that's what life is going to be about for the next 30 years. Meaning needs to be meaningful. So step 3 now. Consider some of the following questions to discover purpose. Now, these questions are not, please, they're not finite in the sense that now you've got to answer these questions. No, these are just examples of questions you could be asking yourself when you're sipping a cup of tea or coffee, relaxing and slowing your breath down and just enjoying sinking into your favorite chair. But they certainly would then stimulate, but you're also letting your subconscious know. By asking the questions, yes, your conscious mind is going to react to them, but the subconscious is perhaps what we're really aiming at here, particularly. So questions like, do I prefer working with my hands, my head, and with people? Now, already we've had 2 people say people without a doubt, and unfortunately, the others hadn't joined just yet. And so, but it doesn't matter, because that's the first question. Step 1, you need to be answering that honestly for yourself. What is it that makes my life worth living? Now, I can already pick up some good ideas when somebody said, I can't wait to get back to where I was. Obviously, there's a love there. There's a feeling for that type of work. And that's what you've got to be looking for in this step 3, this process. What do I want my life to be? And I had to give a lot of thought to that. And I'll show you at the end. I'll give you my example of how I got to where I've got to now. But you need to say, what do you want to be? I like, to research and write and present. So, this is now sort of, I'm happy with that. And so you need to find, what you want your life to be like. Okay, who or what do you want to be? I mean, would you like to, be a doctor? Okay, sure. You might have to go back to study for the next 7 or 8 years, but that's part of the process. You've got another 30 years, so it doesn't really make any difference. So you can use up 8 years studying if that's what was really in your heart and you felt if you want to be. Maybe you want to be an architect. So you've got to study first for a few years and then become an architect. Okay. You might want to write a book. You've even got to learn how to do that. Okay. And maybe you've got some special gifts that are unique to you, special characteristics. How can you express those? Okay, or maybe you want to share them with other people from your experience. Okay, maybe you had a terrible disease and you now want to spend the rest of your life on purpose helping people overcome that disease. But whatever it is, okay, how can you express your own your experiences or your gifts or characteristics? Okay. What can I introduce into my life that will give me fulfillment, joy, and a sense of direction? That's what this is all about. Okay. Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that. Okay. Even you can talk it loud if you want to while you're sipping a cup of tea. Okay. The last one on the screen is, what gives my life meaning and purpose? And ask yourself, are you walking a path in life that is uniquely yours? You mustn't walk somebody else's path. You mustn't find something on Google and then follow that. Okay. Find the idea which is uniquely yours. Find that purpose which is uniquely yours. Okay. So with step 3, you're looking for that aha moment, that light bulb moment. Okay. And everybody has those light bulb moments. Okay. And you encourage them by occupying your logical mind. Okay. So you ask the questions, logical questions like we've just gone through. And you're going to get a lot of aha moments. You see a lot of light bulbs in the images there, in the image. So you need to just write down all those ideas that come up in the middle of the night. When you wake up in the morning, you write them down quickly before you go anywhere, before you get out of bed, because by the time you get back into bed, you most likely would have forgotten that. Okay, especially if you said, well, I'll remember that in the morning, because it's so clear. Then you wake up in the middle of the night and you think, yes. And but then the morning comes and you can't for the life of you think of what it was. Okay. So you need to write down the subconscious aha moments, and a whole lot of them. Okay. So step 3, write because you're heading now to something very important, and that's going to be your grand purpose. And it sounds dramatic, and it is dramatic, and I make it dramatic on purpose, grand purpose. But what else is it? If it's something that's purposeful, that has feeling for you, then it's a grand purpose. Okay, so at this point, are there any questions in step 1, 2, and 3?
I have 2 ideas going on in my brain right now. Not only do I want to work 2 or 3 days a week again as an occupational therapist, I want to build a tiny house by the time my lease is up on this apartment, which is next February. And I also want to meet other people I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. I want to meet other people in this town that are interested in tiny homes too. And all of us get together and form a committee to approach the zoning boards to rezone certain parts of town to let tiny houses live or be parked in those areas. And so that's a big project. That really is. So
that's so exciting. All the things you've said, write them all down. Okay, just write them all down. Okay, and we'll come up with one of those as being, you know, the grand purpose, but they could also dovetail into each other. Okay, so that's very exciting. Very exciting. So, as they say, stay tuned for the next episode. And so yeah, I'm glad you shared that. Thank you very much. And so, Shirley, what about you? Any thoughts at the moment?
Well, I just figure if I could volunteer with Get Set Up, that maybe someday when there's an opening, I can be a guide. Yeah. I aspire to be a Michael and a Sue.
Right. Well, you've also got yourself going, all right? And yeah. You know, from my experience, being a guide is really fun. Okay, it really is, but it's got to be from your heart, and it sounds like it is from your heart. So keep on this process. Keep on this process that we've now started, and let's see where it leads you to. Okay. Okay, Teresa, what about you? Any comments? Any thoughts?
Tell her to mute herself.
Yeah, you've muted, Teresa. You have to unmute yourself.
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
Just broadly, you know, what are your thoughts? We've done through step 1, step 2, step 3 now. Just if you had any questions, you don't have to have any questions. I'm just asking if you had any questions, perhaps.
Not right now.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. And Melinda, are you there answering or not yet? Okay. All right. Now that's step 1, 2, and 3. Now remember, you don't move on to the next step until you have answered authentically about steps 1, 2, and 3. So now we move to step 4. Broadly, now again, very broadly, not details, okay? Lil, you're getting into details already, but very broadly, what do I want to do in my new purpose or my new idea or my new business? Okay? I want a broad overview, not specific tasks, okay? The tasks will come now in this class, but just a category, you know, something broad like baking or writing or researching or translating or teaching other people or wanting to share experience in life with people who've had a disease or something like that. There's something broad. So that's the next step. But this must, like the others, must come from your heart, okay? Not your head, okay? It must be a feeling. We're talking about feelings at the moment. We will deal in classes 2, 3, 4, 5 about logic and other things, but this must be a feeling. This is where you get in your direction from. So now you list all the what's, all the possible new ideas. It can be a lot of different categories. It doesn't have to be one category. No, any sort of, you might want to work in a lot of different categories, and that's fine. Just write them down. So now, you know, you've got a lot of what's in step 3. Now you've got a lot of categories in step 4. You might just have one category, actually. You know, you might be absolutely sold on wanting to care for other people, and that's fine. That's where it stays, you know. So write them all down and keep that notebook with you. Okay? And yeah, so that's now the end of step 4. You write them all down. Now, step 5. We come back to that famous word, why. Okay. You know, whatever your purpose is going to be, whatever your idea or home business is going to be, it has to be a why. So let me, I'll give you an example here. Okay. 2 people intend to donate money to charity. The first one's reason is to get a tax deduction, and the second person wants to assist abandoned children. Okay, the what is the same. The what is the same, but the why is not the same. You understand why I keep asking about the why, okay? Because if you have an authentic and motivating why to live for, you will discover many hows. And we'll be talking about the hows in coming classes, class 2, 3, and 4. We will talk about the hows, okay? That's not important, okay? It's the why. You need the why to live for, the why, okay? And it doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's a feeling. And remember, you're not discussing this with anybody close to you. This is private. This whole process is private to you. Stick with it. Stick with it. Keep it private. There will come a time when you can, because you don't want anybody interfering with the comments now that might demotivate you. Okay. Let's first get to where we want to go. Then you can share, because then you'll have confidence. You'll have a feeling, you know what you want to do. And that feeling will build certainly the confidence to be able to share it with other people. And you will definitely. So if you want really to move forward with a heartfelt purpose, and some of you are very close to that too, because you just want to do this, that's great. Okay, it's coming from the heart, that strong. So doesn't have to be something new. Okay, now let me give you some examples, and these are my own examples for myself. I make no apology for that. It's easier to share something that is that comes and did come from my heart when I went through this process. Okay, so first of all, the broad purpose and the why. Okay. Was to start with, to research. I love researching, write and share the information that will benefit individuals. Okay, and why did I want to do that? What grand purpose? Because I love researching, discovering new information, and writing. Okay. So there are two or one broad, very, very broad, and that's what I want you to do first, the very, very broad category, if you like, and I've called it purpose here, and then know why. You must know why you've chosen what you've chosen to do now as your purpose or your idea or your business. Okay, so still with step 5, I want you to take it doesn't necessarily have to be a few days from listening to the feedback that some of you are giving me. It can be a few hours, but take some time and think about why you want to do what you want to do. Okay, remember you've got lots of step 4, a lot of a list of things to do, and in step 3 as well, because you're now clear. If you reach it, you shouldn't have reached step 5 if you didn't answer steps 1 to 4. Okay, you should go back until you've answered those authentically. So you're now clear about the reason for wanting to work. You've got the why, the type of work, and your reason for that type of work. Okay, we've got through a lot when you've got to step 5. You haven't got there in this class, and you've got to do this afterwards, and I will be sending you the slides. So now at step 5, you put it all together in one paragraph. You now have an overall purpose, a mission that you should be excited about, okay? Because you have decided on these various aspects all the way through. Now you write it down. It's a mission. And if you're not excited about this mission that you're on, then start again, okay? Because somewhere along the line, you allowed your logical mind to interfere. There's got to be excitement. Excitement will tell you that you're on the right track, on what your subconscious wants you to do. And the subconscious is all powerful. It's connected to everything. So you really, that's where you got to take your lead from, okay? Is from the subconscious, not this domineering ego logical mind, okay? So step 6. Unless there are any questions that you want to ask now, maybe we should just check if there are any questions on those first 5 steps.
You know what I want to ask you? When are the next classes?
Okay. Every day this week, tomorrow the same time.
Okay.
And I'm told they're not up yet. Wednesday the same time and Thursday the same time, but they're not up. I had a look before the class. So only tomorrow's is up. Okay.
I was thinking it was 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Let me look.
Okay. Mine says 9 a.m., which is usually about 12 hours difference between most North American, but not.
So it's 5 days.
5, yeah, it's 5 days, 5 classes.
Yeah. Days. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's go to step 6 now. Now comes a little more detail. Now you take your what. Remember that broad category like baking or whatever it is. Now you've decided on that broad category, what it is. And you start thinking and researching to bring that broad category to a more specific category. And now you can use Google if you want to, step 6, okay? If you want to get some ideas or something. So, and I'll come back to my example to help you understand how you bring it down into smaller categories. Because once you get into a smaller category, okay, it might be something that you know nothing about. It's not based on your past experience, your past history, your past knowledge, what you studied at university. No, okay. This is about what the subconscious, and the subconscious might have given you an thought or an idea that you know nothing about, absolutely nothing. Okay, and the logical mind will say, "Oh, you can't do that. Don't be stupid. You can't do that. No. Okay, allow it to happen, because this is what's going to make you on purpose. This is going to make you jump out of bed, but you might have to learn something in order to gain that skill. Okay, so all right, so let's look at that example again. We are down to the detail of what. Then we're getting down to the specific product now. Okay. Remember the previous example about myself, the researcher and writer example. The broad purpose wants to research, write, and share. Okay. Now I brought that down to a general purpose. Okay. So what do I want to research, write, and share? I want to research, write, and share alternative health treatments. Okay. And there was a motive for that. There can be a motive. There can be a link in your previous life. I was very ill, and I couldn't walk properly. The pain in my legs was excruciating. And on one occasion, I landed up in a wheelchair. And I was determined to find alternative treatments or natural health treatments to get me out of that situation. And so as I went through trial and error over years, writing everything down that I did and putting it on my website, it's still there today. Okay. It's not that long ago, actually, the whole process. But I was researching alternative health treatments because I loved alternative health or natural health, and I needed to find a cure. So there was a strong motivation, because I wasn't prepared to go into my full retirement, not being able to walk. So then I brought that down to detailed purpose from my research. And sorry, excuse me, just a drink of lemon water. And your detailed, I brought that down now to detailed purpose. I was now going to research, write, and share information about the nervous system diseases. Okay, and I decided to start with Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's, and peripheral neuropathies. So that's how you bring your down from a very broad purpose to a less broad purpose to a more detailed purpose, and then your actual product. Okay, whatever you're going to do, whatever it is. Okay, so each one of you in this class, from what you've shared with me, are on a totally different direction, but the process is the same. And so step 6 is getting that down to your final product where you can't go down any further. So I then started researching these things and writing about them. And I'm no longer in any pain whatsoever. I'm walking strongly and enjoying it, enjoying my life. Okay. So that was step 6 of what you've got to do. You've got to bring it down to that level of detail now. Okay. Okay. And now comes the how to launch your purpose-filled idea. Okay. And we're going to cover these hows in the coming classes. Okay. Class 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So now you take your idea and you think, how are you going to deliver how are you going to do whatever that idea is? Okay. If you're going to share your experience with Alzheimer's, whatever it is, and then how are you going to become a trainer? Are you going to be a mentor? What works with you? The two of you said you love dealing with people and interacting with people, so that would come into this decision. And the others who haven't shared anything, well, you might be making something, and so you must think about how you're going to market that or take it to market. But the next step, as this step 7, is create a sample of whatever you're going to do. Okay. And even if you're now going to go out and help people, perhaps what you used to do in the past, and I'm thinking of you particularly, Lil, then you got to think, well, I'm going to do this online now. Okay. So, I need to create some, like, not necessarily a class. Perhaps you might do it as a class. You might want to interact. What sort of questions? So you create everything. And then you start thinking about, okay, how do I interact with these people on the line? And maybe get one of your kids to come in and listen. And so you start developing your whatever it is, okay, that you're going to, but you're not trying to sell it. You're not trying to launch it yet. You're just getting the samples, ideas, and the feeling, and what comes out of that feeling as you are progressing. Okay. Then we would look at, how do we communicate this service that you want to do, this idea, this purpose you want to do, to who first, okay, and how to do it. And that we will cover in coming classes. And so are there any questions that any of you would like to pose now?
My ideas are even bigger than what I mentioned to you. I'll be part of my research. So
fantastic. Hey, I hope I can join you on your journey. Hey, stay tuned.
I'm thinking about, I mentioned a tiny house community, but or maybe I didn't. No, I didn't mention that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
A group of people to approach the zoning board. And I'm thinking tiny house community for seniors, and then to also help them design and build their tiny homes so they can live in place. There's an expression, aging in place up here in the United States. Instead
Okay.
of somebody having to go into a nursing home, if they had a tiny home that was built just handicapped, that they need exactly what they need, then they could stay out of a nursing home. It's be more like assisted living. So anyway, that's the wheels are turning.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, and
I know it's something I can't do myself. I would need like a group of people to work together with. So,
well, that's part of your intent. Okay, that's part of your intention, is to work with a group of people. Okay, so put that intention out there. Okay, when you do these steps. Okay, and
we'll need a nurse. We need a nurse too, Teresa. So keep that in mind if you want to move to Florida.
There we are. There we are. Yeah, and yeah, well,
we need a finance person for this too.
Well, don't worry. We don't think of money yet. Don't think of money yet. You first got to get the municipal area to take an interest in it. Okay, who knows? They might finance it. Okay, but let's just see, one step at a time, and don't let your logical mind. And money is always the issue that stops people, and don't let it stop you. Okay, I think your dream is marvelous. Okay, so don't let it stop. But you also need to get out into the community. So come to class 1, class 2 now, and see, you know, maybe what the next step might be for you. Okay, and for you, Shirley, and you, Teresa. Okay, so come out and do that. And,
yeah, because before you know it, she might be out there writing for grants to subsidize that housing.
Yes.
Yeah, I did take a grant course on Get Set Up. I took a grant course. That got me thinking too. And there's some people here that used to own the football team, and they sold it for $700 million. And now they're philanthropists. It's a husband and wife, and they donated $5 million to Habitat for Humanity to build a tiny home community for other age groups. So I thought if I could write a grant and approach her with it, you know, but like I'm overwhelmed with all that needs to be done.
You are overwhelmed with all of that. Okay, so the part of this process today is going to bring you into focus. If you answer the steps, okay, go, and it's unique. You don't have to share them. Go through the steps, okay, and then you'll find that there'll be a direction. A direction will come out of that, okay? But don't let your excitement bring your logical mind to knock things down, okay? Okay, all right. Any other final questions?
No, this is wonderful. Thank you so much for doing this.
Okay, thanks for that. I appreciate that. Okay, so as you can see, there are other classes. The class 2 starting tomorrow, and yeah, I hope to see some of you there. All right.
So we have to sign up for each class individually?
Yeah, okay. It's an individual class. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining and participating. I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you. So did I. See you tomorrow.